we wanted to get an idea of what the government's three branches were and what the purposes of each also were, what they represent for us. So can you enlighten everyone of those three
Yes.
branches?
So those three branches for the U.S. government that have stood the test of time so far are the legislative, executive, and judicial. The underlying purpose is for separation of powers and a built-in system of checks and balances. That no one of the branches by itself has too much authority or exceeds its authority. As I started to research this, I thought, well, why is it more better? Why just three? Why 4, 5, or 6? And I led down an interesting road of research that we'll get into a little bit more. But 3 is a balance, a number of balance in many things, not just government, religion, philosophy, storytelling. If you go back to when there was more verbal communication, 3 was like the common standard to have in a story that you were passing down. 3 was considered the right amount, that enough characters and information to make it interesting, but not too much so that you couldn't remember it all and pass the story on. So I thought that was interesting. You have the 3 little pigs, the 3 bears, the 3 apprentices. It's just a whole aspect I never thought about.
Now, right. And I think also too, in spirituality, 3 is like a trinity.
Yes.
So it's got that ring to it.
And then let's not forget our forefathers were all Freemasons. So the 3, like the triangle, like the pyramid, it plays a part.
Thank you.
Yeah, my lucky number.
It even ties back to how far back this 3 goes. It's to the Egyptians. They considered 3 like a complete system. The Aztecs considered that they had 3 major accomplishments that gave the civilization. The Roman Empire considered it a perfect number of harmony, wisdom, and understanding. It just goes on and on. You have all these phrases: body, mind, and soul, thought, word, and deed, mineral, vegetable, animal. The 3, it just weaves in and out of everything in history. And then with the government for the U.S., it's the executive branch that's the most visible, with the president, his press secretary, and the cabinet. That's from Article 2 of the Constitution. The president as the top position, the power to enforce and carry out the laws enacted. And here's where things get blurred through the media, like who has what powers. The legislative branch, Article 1 of the Constitution, to draft, debate, and make the country's laws, and the judicial branch, Article 3, the Supreme Court, to apply and interpret the laws. And interestingly, the Constitution defined the judicial branch less than the other 2, and there's actually a landmark case in 1803, Marbury versus Madison, where they defined their power more, which is interesting. That I'm surprised I never read about this more, that it's unusual that someone defines their own power more. It's kind of like what Putin's doing. He's just, trying to take over the world. So it's interesting how the 3 is there for a reason, to keep balance and checks and balances, but how it ties back, it's just something that's part of human nature. We're drawn to that 3 in everything. Religion.
And 3 is like it's a connection. Mm-hmm. Where a duality is a balance and a 4 is a foundation. So it's a good place to start. To form a government.
So Tony, that's where my 3.3333 came in pretty well this morning, huh?
Yes, and I have in my notes here that everything, if you know me a lot, everything with me relates to Rush somehow in life. Rush is a trio.
Right.
The greatest hard rock band ever is a trio.
Bullshit.
Oh man.
And not only that,
wasn't the Police a trio?
Yes, but they weren't hard rock. So I found the list.
Rush isn't hard rock either. They're kind of elevator music, what I listen to.
Well, okay, it's subjective a little bit, but I found the list of what the power trios or hard rock trios are, and the first one was formed in the year I was born. Who was it?
Blue Oyster Cult.
Cream.
Oh, yeah.
Cream.
Oh, yeah.
Cream.
They're considered the first
To
Tower
write
of
that
Hard Rock
down,
Trail.
Tony.
Post Yardbirds
Write that
Yes.
down.
So
in a white room.